Hello and welcome to Asser's Lab. Today we will have a kitchen episode and we will be preparing some hot dogs. And I guess it comes with no surprise given the theme of the channel that we will be using electricity for the cooking. And also what's special in this recipe is that we will cook the hot dogs so that they are already fully assembled. Because when you traditionally prepare hot dogs, you first cook the sausages and then you place them inside of the pan and add all the spices and other fillings on top of that. But in our case, we will first assemble everything and then we will use the internal resistance of the sausage to cook it in place, and let's see if that makes any difference. Before we start, it's good to mention that these experiments are dangerous. We will be using AC currents that are capable of killing, and I don't encourage anyone to try these things. And we've taken some safety precautions in here. First of all, we have an isolation transformer. This circuit is isolated from the ground and floating. We also have this auto transformer in here, and this is used to limit and control the voltage applied, and so we can control the current across the system, and also it's really important that we don't touch any of the electrodes or this circuit. Let's first measure the resistance of these frankfurters. We can place the multimeter into the sausage, and now it's on the mega ohm scale, so it's not that stable, and that's also something to keep in mind when we are cooking them. So the resistance will change when it's cooking. It may first decrease and then when it's drying, then it usually increases. But yeah, it seems that it's somewhere around 0.7 mega ohms. The next thing that we can try is that we try to cook one individual sausage to see how this process works. So first we need to attach the electrodes to the sausage. One thing to keep in mind is that now that we have a direct contact between the sausage and these steel plates, you can expect some electrophoresis from the plates to the sausage, and then you may get some metal contaminations there. So I don't recommend this cooking process at all, and also now it's probably better to cut these sausages so that we don't eat these contact points or anything in close proximity. And now we have the electrodes in place. We have the multimeter on its current range, and we can turn the electricity on. And the isolation transformer is now on. We have 23 volts and just few milliamps. Now it's 0.1 amps and we have 55 volts. We can probably aim somewhere to half an amp or so. Yeah, now we have 100 volts applied and we have 0.2 amps across the sausage. Maybe we can increase the voltage a bit. Now it's 110 volts and we have 0.3 amps across the sausage. Now it's really important that we don't touch anything in here, and we have these non-conductive ceramic plates and the wooden table. Let's increase the voltage still a bit. Okay, now we have half an amp and 140 volts. We can see that the current is rising a bit, so that's a common consequence of the cooking. So when the sausage heats up, the resistance usually goes a bit down. Now we have 0.6 amps. I can already smell the sausage. It's 0.7 amps, and we have still this 140 volts. It's rising the current still. Now I can clearly smell the sausage, but yeah, it's starting to sizzling. Now we have 1 amp, so we can probably drop the voltage. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear the sizzling. Now it's bursting, so it's obviously boiling. And we have 1 amp. I think that's enough. We can turn this system off. Now it's off. And let's see how the sausage looks like. There are some signs of corrosion on these plates, and yeah, that's why it's really not a good idea to eat anything from there. Let's just cut those parts out, and maybe we can test this with some mustard. Okay. It is hot indeed. At least with the mustard you can't taste any difference in here. Just well cooked sausage. And we don't have any signs of arching within the sausage, and that's because we limited the current. If you would apply too high voltages, then you get internal arching in here, and you have those clear signs of burnt sausage in here. But this is just cooked. Now we can focus on the more interesting stuff, so we can prepare the buns. In here we have some fried onion. Okay, and then we have some chilies. They were sold hot, but yeah, I think they are pretty standard chilies. Okay, and of course we want some cheese, and that's also a nice indicator for the heating, so I'm expecting some melting of the cheese. It's enough, I suppose, and then let's see if we apply some mustard. Okay, there we go, like that, and some ketchup. And then let's place the buns in place, and we can start from the first one. We are ready now. Let's turn it on. Okay, we started from 50 volts and we have 0.1 amps. I can raise the voltage and now we have 0.2 amps. .3 amps. Let's not go too far because it's good that we get some diffusion of the temperature. It's 0.36 amps and we have 100 volts applied. There are no clear signs of cooking yet. We can probably raise the voltage a bit. Somewhere, oh, it's half an amp. I can hear small crackling. We have 0.6 amps and 120 volts. It's making small sizzling and crackling sounds, but they are really quiet. The current is rising, so now it's 0.8 volts and amps, and we got the first burst. So it's a clear indication that it's boiling at least partially inside. Now we have almost 1 amp, so I lower the voltage so that we don't get any arcing. And also there's some conduction of the heat. It would be nice to get some molten cheese. Some crackling, and we have 0.9 amps roughly. The sausage has expanded so much that I guess it's fully cooked already, so we can clearly turn this off. And I'll turn the electricity off. And we can have a look on the outcomes. Let's again cut the connection points so that we don't get those metals to our digestion. Yeah, the cheese has obviously melted. There's a clear smell from the Frankfurter and of course also from those fried onions. What about the other side? These are these parts that are further from the sausage are still fairly cold, but the sausage itself is hot. Let's see how it tastes. Again, no signs of arching, so we managed to control the process quite well. What comes to the structure or taste of the on this hot dog, I can't tell any difference to the normal one. So if you compare to, for example, an approach where we would simply heat these frankfurters in a microwave oven and then put them into these buns, yeah, I couldn't tell the difference. I wonder if you would have a steam cooked the frankfurter, would that make any difference? But at least they are not dry, and that's partially because it was so quick and tender heating, but also because the moisture was kept within the bun. Yeah, I think that's all for today, and I hope you will meet again. Bye bye.